What's the deal? It's your boy Fraze, the host and lieutenant of RTR1. This is the Real Talk Podcast, and we are here again for another Sunday. Last Sunday, I missed it. I know y'all missed me, but I'm back this time. I got my good brother Billy right here. Got my young brother Seven on the boards, and then we have our lovely guest Violet. How are you doing today?
I'm
Yo,
doing
yo,
good.
yo.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Welcome,
Sweet.
welcome.
Hell yeah, man. So we know you got a lot going on in the MC world. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
you
get into
know.
some questions about you, your background, the motorcycle club, how it came to be, and But essentially, we happy to have you.
Yeah, man, I'm happy that y'all want to have me here. I appreciate it a lot.
That's nothing. It's nothing. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where you from? What made you get into gaming? Things like that.
Yeah, of course. I'm originally was born in Barcelona, Spain,
Oh, dope.
and
Oh, that's dope.
then
That's cool.
yeah, and then I moved to the US. And from there, like about 20, I want to say 2012, that's kind of when I started getting into the gaming stuff. That's when, and then when GTA, came around to my house, I had my brother. My brother was playing it. My dad was playing it. They all were playing it
That's
until
fire.
then like 3 years go by, and I'm like, I want to play it. So I
Yeah,
was like, let me hop into this. So that's pretty much how that came to be with my whole little gaming thing. And now I'm a full-time content creator, and I game. I do everything. I try to do everything at least.
yeah, no, for sure. For sure. What are some challenges that you faced early on that made you you know feel like maybe you were out of place, but it took you out of your comfort zone and you dominated. Can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Yeah, so when it came to GTA, I'm an epileptic, so like flashing lights and like seizures and stuff like that. So it was like the game alone was like hard for me to play at first.
Okay.
But like things tend to turn out. So the first thing I think I faced when I first came on to like at least GTA in general, or like the gaming in general, was like it's a female on a game type stereotype. Like they're only here for one thing and one thing only, isn't that just
Hmm.
like to you know bounce around to cruise, talk to different guys, try to do all of that.
Oh
Like that
yeah.
was a big like stereotype that I had to like figure out on my own in the hard way, that like that's what
Uh-huh.
people think of me when they see me, and they're
Which is
like,
crazy.
oh, which is crazy. Like if you get to know me, like I'm a real person. Like I have feelings just as much as you do. Like we all, just because you talking behind that screen don't mean that I'm not still talking behind that screen. I'm gonna keep the same energy you keeping.
That's right.
Like, but early on into my game and stuff, like definitely had a problem with like keeping that like authority and like trying to find my way because I was a female in the community.
Yeah, you
So
felt like underestimated essentially.
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
especially when I first started out, I was very naive. I was very naive, and I had to get over that real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
The MC,
Yeah.
like the MC stuff right there, like is that like how you're all saying all that? Was that something like fairly new to you, or is it something that you've been
No,
around the
no, no,
MC
no.
for a
The
while now?
very I've been in the MC community for a minute. It all started off in the Mafia. I went from Mafia to MC like back to back. So it was like it was
So you
crazy. It
started,
was
so you started off in the Mafia MC.
Yes, the Mafia community. That's where I started.
Okay.
Oh, so you started
And
off in
what
the
exactly is that?
the
Can you give
Mafia
us like an
community.
insight?
Yeah, so when the Mafia community was around, like that was around like 20, I want to say like when I went around, it was like 2016. Um 2016 came around, and I was really just, you know, trying to find my way in this community. The Mafia community essentially for females was like you're pretty much everybody's like keeper. You're the therapist. You're the girl that people come to talk to into like kind of, or you're like bait. Like that was a
Oh,
big thing. People would use me as like bait to like get their enemies to come talk to me and stuff like that.
okay.
Like
So
cuz
like
I'm a
infiltrate
female.
crews and stuff.
Yeah. Like that was
Oh,
a
okay.
it was kind of weird. I mean, that's not how the
Hmm.
community, is run, but that's like what my place was in that specific mafia that I was in when I
Yeah,
was.
you gotta play your role. What's like some infiltration story is something that's kind of stuck out to you that you kind of look back and laugh at?
So I actually, this is like my tale of time, I swear. When I first joined this mafia group, I was so like determined to prove that I was like that person to like come to, like I was the shooter, this, that, and the third. Like I had so much to prove. And so when they told me that they wanted me to flirt with this this essentially, I guess the whole hierarchy group, like they were like, see if you can, talk to and flirt with any of these guys. And I'm like, okay.
Uh huh.
So I go and I'm trying to talk to them up and I'm trying to like, flirt, do my part by, my new crew. Like I'm trying to stand out, and they knew what I was all along. And so when it came back around, it bit me like so hard. Like it bit me hella hard. And
Mm.
so they
So like
they knew what I was doing.
that was the task for the MC gave you that they, like the MC gave you that task to do that.
No, 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 not the MC. The mafia did. The mafia did
Mm.
that. But
So
like
you
when
had
I
Yeah.
got, that's how I first got introduced to the MC though. When I infiltrated that group, they actually were turning into an MC instead of being a mafia group. And
Oh,
that's
that's
how,
crazy.
yeah.
that is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's exactly what I was about to say. So you was pretty much was gonna backdoor.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. 100%.
So, what
You was
made you
gonna
have a change of heart?
I mean, because meeting these guys in the MC community, like at least back then, like everyone had the heart, they had to put the heart into doing it. So when I'm seeing these guys work their ass off, and I know, oh, excuse my language, I know people are gonna like they're gonna work and they're working really hard for their patches and stuff like that. And I see this energy, and I'm thinking back to my mafia group, and I'm like, they don't got this energy. They don't.
Mm.
And they were respecting me. They didn't know what I was doing until like they found out on their own, and then I knew they knew. But
So how'd they find
Oh.
they,
out? How'd they find out?
because I slipped up and said something.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even mean to.
You ain't
That's what's
even a good
crazy.
spy.
Minus
No,
five
well, you gotta
points.
understand, I was new to all this.
Oh,
I was
dude.
I was a little newbie. I didn't know no better, and I
Nah,
was
yeah, you said you were naive and you were just moving off of loyalty, and that's what's up.
yeah, yeah.
All
Like
right,
I
that's cool.
really was just trying to like, and the MC I had at the time, they're definitely not around no more. They were, I can't even remember the name of them, but they
That's
definitely
crazy.
like they gave the heart that I wanted. They respected me like I wanted in my mafia crew, which they never did that. Like I was always
Okay.
just like I said, I was the usable. I was there. I just had to be there. So
So you
yeah,
came as a femme fatale, fell in
yeah,
love with the culture,
hell yeah,
and now we're here. That's dope. I love that story.
Hey,
Character
that is dope,
yeah.
development.
bro. Exactly, bro.
Sounds like a
That's really
movie.
dope. That's
My life is a movie, man. I swear. My best friend, if she's watching Voided, she says my life is a movie, and she then knew. She then
shout
Shout
knew.
out
out
to
to the best
Voided.
friend for
Yeah.
Shout
being
out
for
to the
being
best
on
friend.
point.
Yeah.
She in the MC too?
No, no, no. She's an outsider, man. So I just have to explain everything to her, but she knows. She knows how this
Okay,
can
so she a
go.
civilian. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah.
she said she an outsider. That's crazy. See, like that MC right there. That's what you call people that's not in the MC.
Not necessarily. I mean, you just call them randoms.
Oh,
They're just
okay.
randoms if they're not in the
Yeah.
MC. But no, I just consider her a civilian. That's what I called it. Cause like I explained to her how this stuff goes, and if she really wanted to, I won't let her though, cause I know how this community. Not to
Yeah,
say
it's
like
toxic.
everybody in this community. Yeah, exactly. Like it's really toxic to not. It's just toxic in general, not just the females. So, and
Hmm.
she hot tempered. Okay, she hot tempered. I can't
Yeah,
have her blazing up a storm. I can't do it. I
yeah, she wear
can't.
her heart on her sleeve. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm literally on my secondary account right now. I get
Yep.
too heated.
She's definitely hot, and but that's why I love her. She's just like me. We say what's on our mind, and we say it with pride, and we say it with our chest. A lot of people don't do that. They don't stand on it, but she do.
Yeah. Nice. That's nice. I wanna tap in before so down whenever we got in here before we got into the podcast, and I don't want to get too far into it because we was already talking, off of it. I wanted to wait till we got on here.
Yeah.
You said you had gotten your patch. You were a fully patched member. Let's
Yes.
get in a little bit of what it is that that you're talking about there.
Could you show us your
So
jacket? You mind
yeah,
giving us a
yeah,
little
I'll show
Let's
y'all
see
my
that.
jacket. Hold on. Let's peep the jacket.
Let's see
Got
what
you
you got.
guys.
the drip?
The drip. You already know the drip.
Oh man, the fit going crazy already though. I'm digging the style, color
Appreciate.
coordination on point.
Color coordination. It has to go with the name, man. But here's the
The devil is in the
jacket.
details.
Here's the jacket. Yep. Chicanos.
The Chicanos,
Chicanos
Hey,
MC. Yep.
Chicanos MCs, Chicanos, the
and how
Southwest.
long has this
Shout
MC
out Chicanos MCs.
been around?
Chicanos. I
Yeah,
I think, well, so my president, he's been around for a while, but I think the MC in whole has been around for almost, I want to say, almost a year, maybe, maybe a little longer.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Do you guys celebrate any achievements, or do you
Oh
guys have
yeah.
any accolades that you want to share with us?
Yeah. I mean, we just recently had an event to, celebrate. We like to celebrate like, you know, our people. So we recently just had an event for two of our full patches in November. It was their birthdays. So
That's what's up.
we contributed a day to just celebrate their birthdays in November. But as a club as
Uh,
a whole, we celebrate, I say every day is a celebration because you're celebrating, your club and what you guys are doing. Like it's just, but yeah, we try to plan events around, to celebrate just, the club and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what's up.
Are you guys so going back to the passage you have there?
Yeah.
Are you guys a 1%? You guys would consider a
Yes.
1%er? So
Yes,
you
we
guys
are a
are
one
1%er.
percenter.
I
Yep.
kind of been waiting because we had a couple of talks. We had another podcast with another biker crew and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The 1%er, that thing it really interests me in terms of like the 1%er.
Oh yeah,
That
100%.
so you're 1%ers and you guys host car meets. How do you guys deal with that like in a general consensus
Well,
of like doing that both like hand in hand like that
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of just blows my mind a little bit right there.
Yeah, so when it comes to, we don't host car meets, we try not to. Like having like an event and then we'll be like, oh, we have a little car contest. It's just, branch out because, a lot of these MCs, these one percenters, like they have these nice cars and they don't really get to show them. So I feel like maybe shedding a little light on a little event, it's nice. It gives them that, that little break of just like, let me show you
Yeah,
what I got when it comes to cars because as much as we love our bikes, like a lot of people adore their cars. So that's why when we host events, like if we do have a little car segment in there, like that's just to show like, oh, the
versatility.
appreciation is there. Yeah, the little versatility and stuff like that. Like that's what I try to strive to do when we do things like this. Like,
Yeah,
So
that's
are you
dope.
guys,
That's what's up.
when it comes to that, like, are you guys, when it comes to, and it's funny because I'm gonna bring it back a little bit to the like the kind of the first times that we pulled up on an event that you guys had.
yeah,
One of the was we pull up deep. I mean, we got four or five, six different cars that are kind of the same. We got security bodyguards, like the
yeah.
whole 9 yards. We pulled up on
Hmm.
you guys, and when a couple of the guys was like, "Oh man, we about to get raided." You know what I mean? Is that like? I was hearing it in the chat. The dude was like, "We about
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
raided." Like, is that
That's
something like you
fucking
guys
crazy.
for real, bro?
They,
Is that
I
they
something
did
think
that
us
you
like
guys
that.
have to deal
honestly,
with?
I think honestly they were joking. I mean, but y'all pulled up deep and that's how they took that. I mean, I don't think do I think that y'all would ever do that? No. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. But
I just I didn't
it
know
was
if you
very
guys
nice.
like had like some stuff like that happen before in terms of
I
like
mean,
uh
I know
uh
our club hasn't, but I've been in clubs that I've seen that's happened before. Like people pull up that deep with all of that. Like, yeah, I've definitely seen it. 100%.
that's crazy.
I
Yeah, because
know.
we even had the chopper. You had our air division that pulled up in there,
I
and
know you guys were like, I was insane. I loved it though. I loved it. It was so like we weren't prepared for it. It blew us away type thing. It blew me
That's
away
what's
at
up.
least. I was
yeah,
like, dang, okay, let me not mess with
Hell
these
yeah.
guys.
Thank
Let me
you.
stay on the good side.
Oh God. Nah, we good people.
yeah,
We
no,
come
yeah,
in
we
peace.
always
We anti griefer. We don't shoot. We don't even shoot. We'll beat a guy up
Yeah, no.
before
And like I said, y'all like I think I told Keith this Like, I really appreciate what y'all doing. Like, I see your content all the time. I try to make sure I tap in where I can. Like, you guys really
Mm.
are like an amazing crew from what I've seen. Like, and usually MCs don't try to like contact crews that don't really relate in the community, but I don't
Mm.
mind. I will branch out as much as possible if it means that I get to make new friends, make new
Mm.
like have new creative ideas to things. Like, I'll always do it.
Hey,
100%.
no, we appreciate that shit. That's what we do it for, really, just to, show the community that, it's a lot of like-minded individuals, even though we might not be in the same organization, the same crew, but essentially we are pushing positivity, organization, just being an all-around good person, good merit, things like that.
Yeah, 100%,
Because anybody can get
100%.
on here and kill. Anybody can get on
Anybody.
here and talk smack. That's flat Earth technology. We're not doing that. We're taking the game to a new level. We're making connections, friendships. Friends like our little homie Seven right here, my brother Billet, even Keith. Me and Keith. We're based out of L.A. and sometimes we link up and we done went to the state fair together. We done kicked it. He done came to the studio with me, and it's just like that's what it's really about.
That's what
It's
it's
really
really
just
about. 100%.
growing the community.
100%. Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. That's so
Have
awesome.
you?
Hey,
Has
yeah, if you
anybody?
don't mind us asking, so where are you guys' crew mainly based out of? Because
Yeah, there we go.
our
That's what I was
crew,
about
like
to
we
ask.
got Billet over in Texas, we got Seven in New Orleans. We're out in L.A. We got a
I
couple
think a
homies
lot
out
of
in
our
Australia.
guys, at least three of our guys are based in PA. I think that's like where majority of them are, PA.
You said
So,
GA?
PA, sorry, PA, my bad.
Oh, what's
Pennsylvania.
that?
Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Shout out to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Hell yeah. Shout out to Philly.
Yeah. So definitely Pennsylvania is, I at least know three of our guys are based out of for sure.
Yeah, that's
So
what's up. That's what's up. So you guys basically have all y'all events on East Coast times and things like that.
yeah, mostly Eastern. That's why, but we plan them early because we got a couple of Europeans in our MC. So like,
Oh, that's what's up.
yeah, and so we try to plan around them too because we want
See
them to
y'all.
have
So
that
y'all, so
fun
y'all like
too.
international Chicanos.
Oh yeah, definitely international, 100%.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And how does Chicano culture play into you guys as MC? Is it just like the style of fashion, or is it the way you guys handle things? Like you don't have to say too much because we
Yeah,
know the MCs are very secretive about their
yeah.
operation. So we don't
Nah, I
want you
mean
to
that's
give
what
us
I was
the
about to say.
blueprint.
I kind of want to dive into that though. I kind of want to know.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I mean?
I'm
Because going off of the IG, like some of the stuff that we was peeping earlier, like how
yeah.
there was a picture in here. Let me just look at it right here. There's a picture in here. You got, we probably don't want to necessarily say too descriptive of it, but you
Yeah.
holding up, you holding up
Oh,
a
holding
letter.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. You know which
Mhm.
one
I
I'm
love
talking
that
about.
Yep.
photo.
You know what I mean? So it's
I
like it's
appreciate
called
it.
the Pachucos, California.
Yep.
That one
So
right there. So what's going on there? What I mean, I know what's going
that's.
on there, but what's going
I
on there?
mean, you see what's going on there. I made sure to
Yeah.
include. I made sure to include. Um, but Hothead, my president, I love that man. He's a great president. I mean, he really just he knows what he knows what he wants and when when he needs to get it done. But when I went to Hothead about it, I was like, man, like they don't even know because those two, the cuts that I'm holding to those MCs, they are two clubs that have repeatedly like tried to screw Chicanos over. And
Mm.
they and the three people in the pictures, because there's three different people in that pictures, I
Oh,
made
okay,
sure they
okay.
they were the ones that like mostly made the problems. But you know what
Mm.
happened? Like they're like a little stain in a like a white t-shirt. You get some bleach, you scrub it, and that post was pretty much why it's captioned checkmate is because I'm not gonna do it no more. I'm not gonna do the back and forth. But with Chicano's like you have to end it, you end it. And that's what I did. I made that post and that was me ending it. Have they responded? I mean, they've posted on their stories because that makes a whole lot of difference. But and I checked it, and I mean that's just how it is.
Standing on business.
Nothing but business.
Exactly, bro. You know what I mean?
Nothing but business.
Exactly. How many other females in the MC? You know what I mean? I'm not saying in terms of like saying doing this, but who else is doing it like that?
I feel like, I mean, I know a couple who have done something similar. Like I know this girl named Namera. She had a picture where like she was holding up a chick's head. Like she had beef with this chick and she was holding up her head. So I mean, I don't personally like I don't see it much. I don't see what I did. I don't think I've seen anything I've done and been done by a female before. But I know that like I said, we are very powerful women and we can that post was like me speaking through my voice like to stop and we're done. Like the conversation's over. Like so
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't see
fire.
many females doing it. I'm gonna be so for real. Do I think there should
Sometimes
be more? Hell yeah.
sometimes that's what it takes. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just takes
Yeah.
that fortitude to say this is where I'm gonna draw the line,
Oh
and
yeah.
whether it was coming from you or somebody else is pretty cool. Because at this point, you don't have your patch, do you? You're not a fully patched member.
I'm a fully patched member. Yep.
No, no, no. I'm talking about
Oh.
when these pictures were
Oh.
taken.
No, I wasn't a fully patched member actually when I made that picture. Nope.
See, that's respect right there. You know what I mean? You're already
You're
doing it without
me.
even having the full patch. That's respect
Yep.
right there.
That's the initiative we like to see.
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
Yep.
you doing what it is that you gotta do for the organization that you're already repping and standing behind
Yeah. Cause
without even
that's
already
what you
doing
gotta
it.
do.
That's what it
Yeah.
takes.
And I
So so
appreciate
For
so
y'all
the
quick.
seeing
people out
that.
there, bro, for the people out there that, you know, are watching right now and they might not necessarily be in the MC or in a crew, you know, this really just kind of is a good example of what it takes to become a, not necessarily to this fully extent, you know, like that, but just the initiative, the want to, the drive to be able to become a part of organizations. Because there's some powerful organizations
100%.
out there that do this stuff. You
Yeah.
know, and if you want to be a
100%.
part of it, you know, what I mean, you pull your part, you pull your weight without even being a part of it already.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So speaking of organizations, what do you guys look for when you're like essentially recruiting new members, prospects?
I mean, honestly, we're looking like we don't
We don't
mind,
mind, no.
like teaching a few souls about, what the community's about. Because there's new people joining the game, joining the community every single day that don't know what they're doing. But we want to see the drive, the want, like you said, the want, the initiative to like put your best foot forward, like because that's what I did. Because me personally, I went on a 6 month break from the MC community altogether. Like I deleted GTA, I did all of that, and then when I came back and I hung out with Hothead and like the
Like
Chicanos in
those in
general,
general.
I um I definitely like stood my ground on that. So I
So
was
I was
like,
like,
I want to be here
here.
and I'm gonna be here, and that's that. Like
That's respect.
I made like when I did the events, like I did the events, like I tried to do everything in my power in private behind closed doors and in general. Like I made sure that they knew that my drive to want to be in this MC was for real and I wasn't kidding around.
Yeah, respect.
So
So you,
and even with the situation, like before I even joined them, I stood next to them because there was a situation that happened. Um and I kind of stood my ground on it, and I told off this guy in the party, and I was like, hey, like my president, well, not even my president at the time, I was saying the president of the club that he was in, because he was a support at the time. I was like, he's telling you he wants you gone. He already kicked you from tags. He already kicked you from this. You need to leave. And I laid it out thick and spam. Everyone was quiet. He ended up leaving. And I was like, okay. And that's pretty much when like Hothead was like, okay, dang, she
standing on
riding for
business.
us. So,
So
yeah,
you, what was you say you called them a support? So
yes,
is that somebody that is trying to like be
like
affiliated with the crew or
yeah, yeah,
like what kind
yes.
of
So like support and hang around kind of go like hand in hand in some ways. Like at least that's from my perspective. Like I said, everybody's different when what they think. But from what I've learned for the last few years that I've been in here, like support is like you're the bottom of like the food chain, but it's where you get to show if you want to be there and that's
Yeah.
where you kind of, you don't have to put much effort into it. It's more like a look around, like a little tour of like what you're getting into. And if you don't like it, I mean, you were just a hang around support, you can,
Mm,
leave. It just gives you that opportunity to really see like what goes on, you know so
yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
like the first step to people taking
Yep.
to what let's say they want to be able to get into the
AMC.
MC.
Yep.
Really the
Has
1%.
anybody tried to infiltrate you guys?
um I, at least not before, when after I came here, no. No. We've had, have we had, we like to call them rejects? Yes, of course. We definitely,
Okay.
those guys in
Everybody
those
got those.
pictures, they were rejects. So
Mm.
that's the kind
You got
of,
you got to teach me to
but
kill like that. I need a photo of some heads on the front of my Cullinan, something like
I
that.
got you. I got you. Don't worry
Don't
about
worry about
it.
it.
But yeah, no,
Wow,
that's
that's
like, I don't think anyone has tried though yet.
So I know just going based off of like the kind of the last interview here in terms of like some of the questions that I'm asking.
Yeah.
You guys mainly in like are you guys hang out like mainly in free aim lobbies? Is that right?
Yes. Most always free aim. Always free aim.
Pretty much always free aim, correct?
Yeah.
I don't
Pretty
know.
much always free aim, yeah.
Are we in a free aim lobby right now?
I don't
I
think
should
so. Cause
I
it
No,
made
should
me
have looked.
change.
I should
It
have
made
looked.
me change when I
We made her change her settings. You know what I mean? So now she's gonna
yeah.
get interrogated as to why she in a partially aim assisted.
Hi, if you're watching this, I'm just, I gotta respect.
blame it on
I'm just
Phrase. It's
Yeah,
all
blame it on
good.
phrase.
I did it
Just
to
blame it
for
on Phrase.
respect.
I'm used
Hundred
to it by this
percent.
time.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, that was legit. I just kind of curious. You know what I mean? The patch. What they call it? They called it
Full patch?
stripping the patch. Stripping the
Oh,
patch.
stripping. Yep. 100%.
That is that's something. I mean, obviously you partake in that as well.
Oh yeah, I have before Chicanos. Yeah, I have a couple times.
Is it how does that order of like uh is it something that like you guys are in a session and you guys see the rival like your guys' ops whatever it is
So,
the rival gang, you see them in there, you put out a message like, hey, pull up, these dudes are over here, we about to take their patch, or like does somebody
yeah.
make that call, or is it just like a free for all?
Well, so stripping patches, I feel like I said, every MC is different. I mean, from what I've gathered, like you have like stripping a patch, like it could mean graving a patch. It could mean
Mm.
like, because we have things called KOS lists, and everyone knows KOS is,
Yeah,
kill on
yeah.
site. And so like, if you want to strip a patch, like you can either do it as a graving thing, or you could go into a free aim lobby and you guys are fighting, and if you can get an animation kill, which is like not just like the regular like
Yeah, the walk down.
motion, it's like the actual like whole animation. And that mostly is like, oh, I just took your patch, and if you don't get it back, then I took it still. That's kind of where that ground stands.
So they have to get it
So
back in the session that they're in.
yeah, they have to, I mean, people prefer to do it in the session they were in, definitely, but um, some people, they'll count it in different lobbies.
So like,
Mm.
do you like? Is it because I compare that essentially to griefing, which not it's not necessarily technically considered griefing because it's
Hmm.
in between MC and
It's
MC,
gang
right?
violence.
So
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
They
So,
know that they're
but
expecting it.
but when it comes to that, and the respect of that, do these people do they essentially go and hide in their agency or the casino, and
Oh
then
yeah, hundred
oh my god,
percent.
I don't like that's one thing
People,
I do not like, bro.
people
Like
will do
I asked
some
that because
crazy
you literally
things.
you what.
Sorry, no, continue. My
No,
bad,
sorry.
boss.
That was my apologies. I just say that because it's like you literally have asked for that in terms of like if you on the KOS, you've obviously done something.
You a gang member.
That's what I.
Exactly.
You
Like, why are
expect
you
that. You gotta
running?
expect that.
People don't understand that if you are on a KOS list, we didn't just put you there to put you there. You did
Exactly.
something to deserve to be on that
Exactly.
list. Cause
You know people.
cause with us, we're a shoot second club. So like,
Mm.
what that means essentially is we don't touch them. We don't do nothing until they
Mm.
they throw a punch, or they shoot a shot or anything like that. Like, we make sure. that we are shoot second at all times, 100%.
Yeah, it sounds like a very accountability type situation where you
Oh
have to
yeah,
have accountability, merit. You know, what I'm saying, stand on business, whatever the case may be.
100%,
I-
100%.
is there any crews that you don't associate with?
Like me personally, or just my MC in general.
Your MC, you. I'm
I
pretty sure
mean,
if your MC don't, you don't.
yeah. I mean, there's been like the
And you ain't
recent ones are definitely I guess I cannot throw out a name, or are we throwing out names? What are we doing?
if
Yeah, you ain't
whatever you
got to throw
want to
no
do, whatever you
names.
want to do. Yeah.
But
Don't get them no promo, no free promo. They got to come get that.
right, right. There
I mean,
are we I
they
think our
ain't getting no
KOS.
promo.
We do have at least like I want to say 8 MCs on our KOS list. 8.
Mm,
That's a but I know MCs that have like phew, they might as well be the most hated in the community. They have like at least 16, and that's just a lot.
that's crazy.
Like
Is there any been any conflict of interest or where you have formed bonds with some different crew and then there's like some political situation where you guys have to
like
not
stop.
associate?
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything like that?
I have actually in the past, yes. I had to do
And what do
that.
you end up doing? You just kind of just ride with your
I
guys or
I just, I'll always be loyal. Like that's something that's always has stuck with me ever since, when I first came in here, obviously, as we know the story. Like loyalty ever since then has been a big thing for me, and I have tried nothing but to abide by it. So when things like that pop off where I know I have somebody that I formed that bond in, if I'm in a different MC and that person I formed a bond with is the MC, I'm gonna tell them, you know, the bond is what it is, and if we're gonna break it over, this, then it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna
hmm
ride for my people because like, and again, being a female in the MC community is hard enough. You finding that
yeah,
group that keeps you, it's like you if you want to be there, it's like that's your clique, like that's what you want, that's what you need, So of course I'm gonna ride for my people all day, every day, 100%.
oh God.
Like,
We've had situations like that as well. It does get tricky. It gets very
oh yeah,
disappointing. People say things and do another. It's really a spit in their face. But essentially, you can't expect people to, I guess, game by themselves and things like that.
yeah,
But
definitely.
don't
It's
but don't tell me something and you ain't gonna stick to it.
no,
Cause
really.
then you feel me.
That's what
I'm
happened with Pachucos, those guys.
oh
Yeah,
okay.
that's what
No
happened
no
with
no
them.
yeah.
Yeah. See,
So
that's what it is. Sometimes it just you can't. We was actually having this conversation a little bit earlier. When it comes to the experience, you might have people that are kind of around the same age as you, but they don't have the same experience as you because
they
they
don't have the
haven't
same
been doing
mindset.
exactly.
Mm-mm.
They haven't been doing what you've been doing. So you put them in the same room as you, and you expecting them to do the same thing that you're doing, and they just not at that caliber of what it
Mm-mm.
is that you wanted them to be because they
Not from
not
that
you.
cloth.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
And
Tissue
that's
paper.
like, it's yeah, essentially, yeah. That's like,
Tissue
it's
paper to
just
leather.
real thing. Like you walk in, I don't expect to walk into a room full of a whole bunch of people in an MC and expect them to know anything. I don't expect that because I don't know
Mm,
who who's been here longest, who's new. I don't know none of that, so I'm not gonna walk into a room and talk to people about the MC community when like I don't know their experience. So if they have questions, I'm so open to questions. I'll always answer 100%. Like if I have the
true.
knowledge, I'll give it. I will not gatekeep that because this community is hard enough to get through alone, let alone if you're in an MC that you're new to, it's even
Mm-hmm.
worse. Like, so knowledge and knowing, like, asking the right questions, I mean, essentially is what's good.
Don't God, you
So,
hit it right on the head.
try to.
Yeah,
So your
definitely.
so so your MC, you say it's been going for 1 year.
About, yeah.
What are some challenges that you have met, the level of adversity you have met with your crew that has essentially brought y'all together closer?
Honestly, I feel like this recent situation because I've only been here for so much time, you know. But I feel like this recent situation with these MC, like with our MC leaving, like there was a lot that I didn't know personally, and there's a lot that they knew that was going on because it was happening, you know, in private, and I was just a simple like prospect at the time when everything went down. So it was like it was at least a hardship that I saw for us to, you know, was it hard to let them go? No. But was it hard to like get down to the root of the problem and make sure that we knew the truth and what the truth was? It was definitely difficult. Like
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah,
like
definitely. Like you had to accept essentially the truth of what it is of letting them go.
yeah, like and like I said, Hothead, he's an amazing president, man, and like he
Shout
has
out
his
to
head on his
Hothead, bro.
shoulders. Yeah, shout out to Hothead.
Shout out Hothead,
he
president.
he's great, man. He and when all that happened, you know, he came to me and he was just like flat out with me and I was flat out with him. I told him everything I knew. He told me everything I like he knew and we just, you know, and shout out to Thino, my vice president. If it wasn't for Thino, I probably this would be a different conversation for sure. Like my vice president, he's a original one percenter. Like he was like
Mm,
first in the community, I guess when it first started. Like I don't know much about his past, but man, that man is. That's why I think our club is so much structured. Is because he's a very OG. Like he tries to make us. I mean, he doesn't try, but he has the you know ability to make us great like that. You know, because he has that
exactly,
experience.
exactly. Now
Shout out to the
you only as
VP again.
strong or
Shout out to
only
the
as sharp
VP
as your
Connor.
leaders, you know. And it seems like you got some really good people in your corner. So you know, shout out to the homies over there. They doing the right
Yes,
thing because
100%.
you definitely got your head on right.
Definitely, yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Um,
Definitely much better.
quick question. This is a little
Yeah.
off topic from the gangs. How we're gonna
Oh
ask you
no,
a little
you
lighter
good?
question because we're getting deep.
Yeah, no, it's good. Go ahead.
What's your favorite station to ride around to? What are you listening to when you're riding around?
Oh man, that's a hard question. Cause
she be
I
she be listening
mean,
to the East Coast FM or what's that called?
mm,
You gotta be Chicano listening to that.
yeah. I mean, I personally do low key. I
Ah,
can't
That's that
lie.
shit. The
I
homie was
can't
hey,
playing that shit the
Raven
lie.
other day. I
Raven
said,
Station
turn that
too.
shit back on.
that
That's my
that
shit.
shit's fire. I swear.
Oh man, what I say? Call the hyenas. I was
He
tweaking.
said call the hyena. That's what he said.
That's
That's what he said.
funny.
The
That's so
hyenas,
funny.
bro. That's crazy. It's wild. He said call the hyenas.
Called hyenas. I can appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's so funny.
You know what I'm saying, man? Hey, you gotta pop
Lay
out to the
down,
meets,
King.
man.
Don't even worry. Don't even
You
worry.
know, you
It's
know what I'm
funny.
saying?
I got a question. I know
What's up?
I see the technically you're gonna consider it. I just call it violet. You know I don't want to call it purple. You got the violet fit on right there. How,
Yeah.
how'd you come up with your gamer tag?
Oh my God. I love this story actually. So before this gamer tag, I was known as like lavender because I love the color purple. So I kept trying to make my names as purple as possible. So when I had to come up with a new name because I couldn't have my old name no more, I was like looking up, you know, different purple colors in different languages. So actually, it's pronounced violet in German. So that's what my
Mm,
name originated. That's why it has two T's. So like because
Violet. I
it's
like
based
that.
off that. Yeah. So and then the tricks part came from there was a guy that I had really bad like beef with in GTA. Like I had real bad beef with him, and his name was Trixie. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of fire. So I put two and two together, and I was like, here we go. That's me, and
That's
it's stuck
dope.
with me ever since. And I mean, it's original. That's what I wanted. I wanted that originality, and I wanted, you know, just to, you know, have that. So yeah.
Are all your bikes that color?
No, everyone asked me that. No, actually, four of them are, but the rest of them are
That's
like
what's up.
blacks and reds and stuff like that.
So that's
So,
you come in black, red, and violet.
yep, yeah, pretty much.
So I like that
Nice.
colorway. I like that colorway.
Yes.
When you guys post meets, where how do you come up with the locations where you go?
Um, I personally like. well, recently my the other full patches, shout out to them again. They two of them they were known in like the Carmi community. Like that was their thing before they came over the MC thing. So they had different spots. So I can't take credit for them giving me those spots because they were the ones, that I just had the creative ideas to what to do at these spots, but they had the spots 100%. I can't take that credit from them.
So, do you guys do anything besides car meets, like any other type events, like fight clubs or, you
Yeah,
know?
that's what our recent event was. It was our fight club for the birthdays. We had a fight
Oh, it's
night.
dope.
Yep. We do
Yeah,
fight
do you
nights.
guys ever do any wagers or anything?
Not recently, but we do have we have a raffle going on for our Christmas event coming up on the 21st.
No
So,
way. And what's
yeah,
that?
yeah. So we're gonna incorporate like a couple things. Like we're gonna have five Bongdans. That's gonna be one ticket, and then we have
That's what's
another one
up.
where I'm gonna give out a $25 gift card. Like,
Awesome.
so like there's gonna be different prizes there for that. So peep
And
into
this is
that.
for in crew or?
This is an MC. Yep. It's on my Instagram. Go check it out. Violet Trips.
That's what's up. That's what's up,
Yeah, no,
man. Hell yeah.
that's what's up. I did see that right there. Chicanos MC, December the 21st.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. I feel like doing charity organizations in a setting like this is so important
Yes.
because it just gets the people going. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
some people join obviously, oh, I want to run my money up, blah 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 blah. But just like people knowing that you got somebody looking after you, it makes you
It's
feel
amazing.
a different level of connection that you wouldn't expect to
100%.
get on such a toxic platform as GTA. It's like
I
art,
know.
you know.
It's really like it's crazy to me. And that's
So
why for the epilepsy event that you guys actually popped out to, that was our first event. That meant a lot to me. I mean, of course that was personal for me as one, but like that's why I said if y'all want to go donate to just, go on Google and look up, epileptic charities, there's hundreds, to help people pay for cuz it's not cheap. The medical bills for, having this condition, it's not cheap at all. So,
That's dope.
no,
yep.
I definitely understand that. How so going back to like your organization as a whole,
Hmm.
the MC, your president, and then the VP, they were pretty receptive of the events that you're wanting to host.
What do you mean by that?
So,
Sorry.
like in terms of you kind of just said, "Hey, one day I want to throw a car meet," and these guys were just like, "Yeah, that's a good idea," or where they were like taken back, like, "Nah, like that's not something that we
Oh
do."
no, they were in full support, man. They were like, yeah, because when you want to introduce something as an under patch to a full patch for everyone watching, you need to present it. You need to have that, like, why you want to do it, what's motivating
Hmm.
it to you do it. So when I brought it up to them, I was like, I think this could be really good for the club. It could help us, branch out to our allies, which we don't really see very often. And
Yeah.
like, it helps us build like bigger. And when people see us, popping out with different crews and different MCs, they're like, oh, okay, I mess with Chicanos in their events, like, and they'll, it's a good way to make people, have the ideas too. So it's just like, so when I asked them, I was like, hey, like this is what I want to do, and this is what I think is good about it, and what it'll benefit from us for. And then they were like, heck
That's dope.
yeah, go ahead. And I was like, yay.
Yeah,
So
that's dope. That's important though to keep the Chicano movement moving forward. You have
yeah,
to garner attention through positive, things like that instead of just being a dominating force is always great,
100%,
but you get
100%.
more bees with honey.
Yeah, yep. Hmm.
Yeah, no,
That's
hundred
dope though,
percent.
man. Shout out to the Chicanos, man. We definitely got to pull up to our next event.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I always tell Hi, and I'm like, I'm looking forward to Keese's. I'm looking forward to these international guys, man. They keep popping out. They keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're
we
always,
will.
and I. So yeah, I have a
On
question
G.
for you guys, if you don't mind. I
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
go
go
run
ahead,
it.
ahead.
Come
Katie.
on.
Go ahead.
So when doing this podcast, like, what did you guys want to come out of it? Like, what was kind of like your mind sound like, oh, this is what we want to do with this.
You want the
I,
YouTube answer or you want the street answer?
I'll let.
I
So
mean, whatever which one you're willing to give.
I'm gonna
I'm
let
I'm here
Phrase
for
give
it.
his answer, and then I'll give my answer.
All right, all right.
So I'm gonna get a street answer.
All
We
right,
trying to get out the hood. We trying to stay out the
bet.
hood.
And
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
real, bro. That's so real. Holy
You
relatable.
know what I'm saying? And when we enjoy bringing the community together, we love the perspective. The perspective is things that we've actually been applying to ourselves. Like there's been so many situations since we started this podcast in our own crew that we've talked about before the events even happen that we
Yeah,
have that I have used. You know the words of a lot of different guys. Essentially the candidates that we have up here. You know they drop gems and
yeah,
and it works.
yeah.
You know
That's
like
amazing. That's so awesome. I love that answer. That's a good answer.
Uh,
no
that's a
no it's
great
good. What
answer. I
about
ain't
you,
gonna
Bill? How you
lie.
feeling?
I really didn't. I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? Like I did. I'm just on some. I'm on the inclusiveness. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
kind of like a an all inclusive deal in terms of like actually having a platform where and it's crazy because it actually happened last week. Kind of where I was thinking myself, so you have these and there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the next thing I'm going to say. You have these car clubs, you have MCs, you have astronaut pilots, whatever it is you want to consider it throughout the game that
Hmm.
are an only inclusive of to that specific organization, that
Yeah.
specific car, that specific jet.
Hmm.
And we have the ability to bring them in here, and you can throw that all away and you take the human aspect of why they're doing that or why they do different things like on the game. And so I
That's
like that.
awesome.
I like being
That's
able
really dope.
to have like the gamer, like your casual gamer, because I was actually talking to the shout out to the guys over at the House of Toys on some of this stuff here. We were saying like some people can't get into some of this stuff because they don't even know it necessarily exists. So
Yeah.
this is kind of like to the extent of sharing or putting out awareness of letting other people that are your daily gamer, essentially, whenever
Yeah.
we are in a public setting, to
Hmm.
say, hey, we got a podcast, check it out, and they're like, you got a podcast on GTA? And they had no idea that there's even people out here doing things like that. You know what I mean? And it's your casual gamer.
Yeah.
They hear
100%.
podcasts, like different ones that I don't want to say any like any of the other podcast names out there,
No
but they hear
name dropping.
podcasts,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
and they automatically like assume, oh yeah, this or the other, and we're putting real time into this. We're
Yeah.
putting different things that we're doing.
Everyone's perspective is different, man. And
It
I love
is.
that. I love
And
that.
see,
That's
and I
so
say that
awesome.
because you had a guy, I guess it was like either a part of or had gone to this MC's event at one point or another,
Hmm. Yeah.
and they got mad at him for having white walls, and he was no longer allowed to go into the session, which ultimately that's just a part of the rules. That's just what it is that they want to be able to
Yeah.
have because you have that certain people in there. But
Yeah.
I say that for the aspect of the dude tuned in, the dude watched the podcast, and he saw that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just those certain set of rules that you have to partake in. That right here, we don't have a car out, we don't have a jet in this room. You know what I mean? We're just figuring out
Yeah.
what it is that people are doing, and why it is that they do it, and what they like, and what is the
Hmm.
interest of the game. That's
Yeah.
that's why I like doing it.
I love that answer. Holy crap. You guys got some good answers, man. I love how deep you guys get into it. And that's how
Nah, it's
I
good.
don't
It was a
really
great
meet many
question.
people like that, man. I don't meet people who like to get that deep and into things, So it's so cool to meet people
Nah, it's
like that.
good,
So
man. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is probably my favorite interview. This is the most like chill and like I don't know. This conversation is electric. The vibe is electric right now. It's
and
flowing.
that's all we can have. That's all we need to have a good
That's
convo.
what it should really
Uh,
take. Because it goes back to it's kind of funny, we were talking about the whole bandwave and things like that.
Hmm.
We join up public from time to time. For the past 2 or 3 days, like I don't want to jinx it, but we really had nobody's been grieved. Nobody's been on the mic. Like nobody's been saying like outlandish things in terms of like they gonna
Mm-hmm.
slice you
They
or
gonna
whatever.
do
You know what I mean?
something. I mean,
I'm
it
not
might be
gonna
because
say
of
Rockstar
those
that.
got him
bans. It
scared.
might be because of
Yeah,
those bans.
but those not. It's not that they got them. Not that they got them scared. They already banned. You know what I mean? So they
But
can't even
yeah,
get on the
they're
game.
gone. Yeah, and that
You know
Exactly.
what I'm
Like they can't
it's
saying?
even
He
get
got
awesome.
us
on the
on our best
game.
behavior.
Yeah, you can't do that no more. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You want to talk crap? Do that. Do that on your own time in your private place. Don't do it
that
in the.
that yeah, that's kind of crazy. And I don't. Going on that topic. What do you think about that? The essentially the AI that they're implementing, and do you think they're gonna do it on GTA 6?
Oh, I I think it's a good thing, definitely, because like you said, there are people out here saying outlandish things. I mean, especially to want to like not to put, my gender out there, but as a female, I
Yeah.
literally have a highlight on my Instagram called FAM. I can't really say, what it is because it's a cuss
Mm.
word, but
Yeah.
it's for things like what people would say into me in lobbies, these outlandish things, but instead they're texting it to me. So like I take a picture
Jesus.
or I clip it, and I post it, and I'm like, it just to shed some light. So I think the AI is great in that aspect. Do I think if you're talking and you might say a cuss word too and they ban you, that yeah, I mean that can be kind of crazy, but I don't know. I think they definitely will implement it though. I mean, if they brought it here, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't bring it over there. Especially if it's helping the problem that they think is creating, then I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't bring it over there. 100%. I keep saying that 100%. Lord, I need to find a new word.
It's all right. I'm gonna say this essentially every time this comes up in the podcast conversation, whatever it is that you want to have it. I feel
Hmm.
like even though it might be as outlandish as it is, this is an 18 plus game. You should have to be 18 years old to be able to get on this
Yeah.
game. And I'm not saying necessarily you have to have your ID verification card, whatever, whoopie whoop.
Imagine, oh my
You
lord.
You should though.
you bought the game. Your parent bought the game for you. You essentially, like anything else, kind of have to deal with those consequences, and it might be, like I said, it maybe might be like an
But that
adversary
also
mindset.
leads into home training. A lot of these people, man, grown men, grown women, they don't got no home training and they think they can act
Exactly.
out. And that's like sometimes things like that stem out of the game. It stems out of this. They buy this game, and they think like, oh, like it's a grown people game, I'll get on it. And then they act like they're 12. And it's like your home training, like it goes to show, like it's you're the problem. And they trying to blame the game and everyone being toxic to them. Those people will figure themselves out too. It's like you have to, like you said, you bought it, your parent bought it, and you should have that maturity because it definitely says 18 plus. You know what I mean? Like, and even if you aren't, have that maturity because it comes down to that. Your maturity level. Some clubs they have 16 plus based off of your maturity. If you aren't mature enough to be in this club, they'll get rid of you. It's just simple as that.
I think
But
it's
that's how
sad
I
that they're
feel.
trying to hold Rockstar accountable for people talking crazy to the point to where they have implemented this AI. I think it's
Yeah,
really,
that is kind of
really,
crazy. Yeah.
really unaccountable of people being like that. It's just whack.
That that's
It's
yeah,
sad.
that's 100% as well. Uh, I just like I said, it just kind of goes back to being 18 of age. Um, if I tell you to walk down the street with me and you walk down the street with me, you decided to essentially walk down the street. Like there's not anything
Yeah.
that I could have done or
Consequences of your
controlled.
actions.
Exactly. And it's like I don't think it's right. Um it's just kind of weird
It is
of the way
weird.
that
Yeah.
they've gone about it essentially. Like I kind of don't necessarily really understand it just for the simple fact that I just don't like it. But also
Yeah.
um yes, you don't necessarily need to be cussing, but I don't necessarily think it's up to a game to tell us that we need to be cussing or not when their NPCs literally
Are
drop their
doing
F
it.
bomb and tell me
See,
this. Yeah,
that's the only thing
exactly.
I do disagree with, and you make a really good point on is like if your NPCs are doing it in this game, you got strippers in this game,
Yeah.
you got coke and acid and all this other crap in this game, and you're essentially like cutting it all off. I'm like, well, what's going on? Like
They're trying to
I feel
make the
like
game more suitable for little Timmy, but little Timmy should not be on this game.
yeah, little Timmy's parents need to they need to grow a pair and not feed into little Timmy's BS.
Yeah, 100%.
But
You guys ready for GTA 6
oh my god, I'm
over in
so
the MC
ready.
community?
So ready. Oh my goodness. I'm
So
ready.
you guys are gonna take the MC to GTA 6.
Oh yeah, Hothead has it all planned. Yep. I mean that's the
That's exciting.
plan. But everyone's gonna be, and I like it because everyone's gonna be new to it. Everyone's gonna learn, and we're gonna build off of that, and that's what's gonna be great about it.
Yeah, it sounds like
So
an amazing thing. I'm excited to see you guys over there.
I'm so hyped to see. I'm excited to see y'all. I know how deep y'all are. I can't wait. Let's hope y'all got those helis in those trucks. I want to see them.
No,
I
that's
want to
definitely
see them. I want to feel
that.
like I'm getting rated. Trust.
That's definitely gonna be one of the things that we do.
I love it though.
Going
It's
over
so
there
fun. It's so fun. It's so new. I haven't seen it in that long. I haven't seen it since like 2015, maybe even
of
maybe
like,
even later than
yeah,
that.
people like pulling up like that type thing. It's crazy
Yes.
that it's really like that's not the first time that we've been told that. It's like, I mean, I get it, because you do have like your solo players and stuff like that, and they said the same thing, like 2015 type thing. But
Yeah.
it's like, at what point or where did people fall off in terms of like being, and that's why it goes back to the podcast thing of being the unity or like being a friend. And I seen it's kind of funny. I seen not funny, but I seen a reel the other day where it was like showing where people had logged on for the last time and they didn't even know it. In terms of like being friends. So
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of weird how people didn't necessarily think of like ahead of time, in terms of like doing that, because the dudes that I game with, uh, what I mean, like we're friends even out like outside of the game, even though we met in the game, like we met in the game and we're friends outside of it. So it's kind of like something when we go over to GTA 6, like that's just a must. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that it's like we hold each other like a brother, really. Like I say that, everybody wants to say that, but it's like, nah, like this is what you're gonna do, bro. Like this is what we gonna do. Like let's make it happen. Like let's make this snap. And the response of the other individuals, like, yeah, you're right. Let's get this done. Let's do this over here. There's not any of like a reservedness when it comes to the answers with everybody. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know why 2015 or 2016 was the year of like people just kind of like letting it drop off. It's kind of crazy to me.
I think because that's kind of
Yeah,
when
the oppressors.
I feel like that's when, that too of the oppressors start. I think that's when the oppressors came out, and like
I guess
that's
that's
when
true.
kind of the whole like I think that's when the mafia kind of fell off too around that time. Maybe a little later. They fell off like 2019. I mean, they still around, of course. I just don't personally see them that often though. So, I mean, but I
I
feel like
mean,
that's when you're right. I think when oppressors were added, that's when like that whole, phase
Well, yeah, it
ended, and
got
it's like,
quiet.
dang.
People were like, we're done.
Yeah, let me ride a mama oppressor and explode people.
And then they made everything super expensive because everybody was glitching
No,
money
for
and
real. Why are we
yeah,
charging at such high prices, sir? Or
They're
whoever
yeah,
taxing.
CEO of Rockstar? Come
They're
on
just
now.
taxing.
Like,
yeah, it just
dang.
got really bad. I remember in the beginning, GTA, all the cars were like reasonably priced, and then out of
Yeah.
nowhere, just
Kaboom.
fucking Honda Civic, $2 million. Like what?
What? That's
Wait, why
insane.
is this car this expensive?
Because I think they know like people can, get money fast because they add all these missions into it.
Not for sure, but it's just like the people that aren't lucky
Yeah.
enough to have that community, they have to buy shark cards
Isn't like the
because
cheapest car in GTA like 25,000? It's like 25 grand.
I'm not sure. Might probably like one of the
It's like I don't even remember.
I I'm not sure what the price is, but definitely what Phrase just said right now. Like I had a account. This is my main account. This main account, it got banned.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna say it again, but we were in a crew. We were literally in a crew lobby, and I had
Mhm.
just got done with a paint job on a car, and it came out fire, and I dropped essentially the F bomb saying, "Yo, check this paint job out," but I dropped the F bomb in the middle of that, and all you hear was boom, boom, boom. Your account's been suspended for so long.
What?
Yep.
It's insane.
Crazy. That's some crazy work right
So
there.
so when I say that, so then I make another account, and I'm like, yo, like I'm not, I'm not about to like do this the back and forth thing with Rockstar. Like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do it like this. You know what I mean? So I got
Mm-hmm.
the account. I'm a level 30, and thankfully, through the great community that we have built, and I say that in terms of because I'm gonna lead into another deal here. I'm a level 30, and I got a yacht on my account. You know what I mean? So, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I would have never been able to do that by myself, being in a normal setting of a public session, trying to be
Yeah.
able to get everything. Like, I mean, and I say I got a yacht because everybody knows a yacht's a luxury. You don't, that's
Very
just a
luxury,
flex.
yes.
So it's like for me to have essentially almost everything within the game is not on a modded account. I didn't pay money. We just kind of got together, and it wasn't even anything that essentially you could consider like, oh, I grinded day in and day out to be able to do that. It was literally just a matter of being in the crew. Hey, I got this. Let's do this. Let's do this. One thing
Putting it
led to
Mm-hmm.
together.
another, and exactly. And so, like I said, now the level 30, and I can throw a yacht party. Like, there's
Huh.
not too many people even in the GTA world that could say that. Once their stuff got banned, it's like, oh man, I'm not even doing it no more. Like, I just
Yeah, they
deleted the
gone.
game. Yep. But
They
Yeah.
because they
gone.
didn't have that brotherhood, and we said that because there was another guy that was he pulled up yesterday, and I hadn't seen him for like 6 months. Shout out to Modded. Modded, he was in the crew. Uh, he was like, "Yo," he's like, "Man," he's like, "I just got tired of the game, this, that, and the other," and I say that uh, for the simple fact of we we build the community just like the MC does, just like other people do, and you do that, and people and it's cool. I like this guy, but it comes back to the simple fact of some people, we don't have that luxury of like just quitting the game because you have a whole community behind you. You have a whole
Yeah.
community there. We're
Yeah.
here whenever you got off those 6 months ago. You got off 6 months ago. The community's still here. And I
Yeah.
guess one of the other guys, my boy DJ, shout out to DJ too. DJ was like, "Yo, I've been telling Modded that. I've been like, hey, we need to get off Call of Duty. Like I'm tier 5 or whatever it is. In terms of like the games." And
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I be telling Modded that these guys over here grinding, making sure everybody's good and all that good stuff like that." But it just kind of resonated me with the conversation that we were having right now.
Yeah. That's insane. But again, draws back to what we were talking about earlier about that drive, you know? It's that drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that, yeah. That's awesome though. It's really awesome.
On
That's
me.
crazy. How do you balance real life with GTA?
Um, wow. That's a deep question. That's a deep question there.
Take your time. Marinate on
Um,
it. Don't worry.
oh man. I feel like I I have had a very long like journey in my life. Like I've had a lot of things happen. And so when I play the game, like people don't like people think, oh, it's just like a game, it's just a console, don't take it seriously. But essentially, like when I started playing video games, like it gave me that escape to just, kind of do what I needed to do and just like decompose or decompress and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not decompose, decompress, my bad. My English, we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Voided. Once again, my best friend.
Shout out
Her,
to
she's been,
Spain. Shout out to
shout out to
Spain.
Voided. She's been helping me with my English.
That's
But,
crazy. How is it? How is it coming from Spain like
oh my
to the
God.
Americas? Like how is that?
It was definitely harsh because it was a harsh process, and I won't like dig too into it because I know she's probably watching. She's probably like, "This girl gonna tell her whole life story, this, that, and the
No,
third."
no, you
So,
got it.
Yeah, that's
but
what we're
I
here
had
for.
some.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
That's not. I mean, yeah. I guess it's just like it was hard because I had things going on, and I had to. My parents, things happened there. So then I had um she just texted me saying no backstory. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm,
She
mm-hmm.
so I had to like, move around. It wasn't just like Spain. I had to go to Italy, the UK, stuff like that. Like I had to go to London and all that crap. So it was like it's very hard to when I like said when I first got here, it was hard to establish like the proper, that because you guys have accents, there's like Southern accents and just like New York accents, and there's just a whole bunch of accents
Hmm.
here apparently. So when I first got here, I'm like, damn, y'all really just out here.
Oh God,
Y'all really just mixing it up, and which is fine because of course I've been around accents my whole life. So, but I think the transition, like I said, with the whole gaming thing, like it low key kind of helped because I used to sit and I used to listen to like people talk in video games like their English, and I used to play like games and have the English subtitles on. Like it helped a lot.
that's dope.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
See, and that's
Damn.
another part of the reason the podcast is somebody might have not they've been following your page. They might have not even known what it is that you sound like, where you're from, or any of this information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, the no
Hello.
backstory type thing, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's all good as much as you want to be able to put it out there and stuff like that. We appreciate that. Actually, you
Yeah,
sharing that with
no.
us.
And I mean, it's like when I was younger, life was harder. And, life, people, like I said, it comes from home, like home training, it always deep dives into that, like it's one of those things where like of course I'll always bring up Void, and I'm sorry if I say it too much, but she kind of, like I said, she's helped me, and it's like when I was young, a lot of things weren't going my way. Essentially, I didn't have
Yeah.
the home training I should have had when as a child, but I gained by being around people on the game, these people who
Hmm.
actually were mature enough to talk to me and take me through it. Voided definitely, even to this day. I'm older than that girl. I'm older than her by like 2 years, and she's still teaching me things. Like
But you're a
it's
student of the game. You know that's a good
yeah,
thing.
but it's exactly. And I met her on the like I met her on the game, and she has changed my whole my perspective on the U.S. in general, and like she's
Damn, that's
changed
what's
my
up.
perspective on my past too. And when it comes to gaming, like she's taught me like people are gonna throw sticks at you because 2 years ago, when I was not really when I was more established, but when I was like deep into the community after a while, like I didn't have this knowledge that she gave me about like you just need to let people say what they need to say, and if it helps them sleep at night, it helps them sleep at night. But you don't take that and you don't like throw it at your body and make it hurt. Like don't hurt your beat yourself up
Exactly.
over it. And like
Damn.
I met her on the game. Like she was,
Shout
I
out to
met her
best
on the
friend.
game. Like she was really for real like that.
Shout
And
out to
that's
Voided.
shout out to Voided. I love you.
Oh me, we gotta have her. We gotta have her come through. We gotta bring the big on me through. You
Yeah.
and her. We gotta have back on here because
Bro,
it's a
yes.
it's a
Both of
lot.
us
It's a lot of
together,
culture.
it's like evil. Okay, I'm not she evil kind of. She a little drama queen, but I love it.
You probably just got a text message on that now.
I did. I did. She said, she said, "Yes, let me in. I love you. Shout out to me."
Oh me,
That's cool.
per.
That's cool.
Per voided.
That
Oh
Me
period.
me.
voided on a podcast would be crazy. Girl likes to talk
uh,
just as much as I do, but
nah,
but
that's
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
pretty much like my whole little story about like how that adds on to like why I'm so not necessarily serious, but I definitely adored, meeting new people and that. And like I was always a big social butterfly, because a lot of people in here are like introverts, which I think is crazy. Like how can you be an
Yeah.
introvert on a game where you could pretend to be anybody you want, and at the end of the day, like it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But like I personally, I like to vibe. I like to read people. I like to have an opinion. That's a big, some people don't like
Yeah.
that. And like I've always liked to talk because I like to talk and I like to listen. So when I hear people talk and I'm like, oh, I can relate to this situation, I relate. I then talk, and then I listen to what they have to say back, and that's where you kind of get like the interaction when you first like first impressions are everything. So when I
Exactly.
first met Keys, like when I first met Keys, and he was like, "Yo, what's up? Like this is who we are. This is what we do," and I'm like. I mess with this guy because he came up and said it. He said it with his chest, and he respected me. He made sure like no one he wasn't talking over me or nothing. Like y'all, whenever I talk, you guys don't talk. Like it shows me how mature and how like good of people you
Thank you.
are. and stuff like that. So I appreciated like every bit of it. You know, I appreciate being here once again.
That's nothing, man. Shout out to Key. Shout out
No,
to Billet.
appreciate.
They really have groomed this culture of RTR1 to be resilient, to be outstanding, but asserting our dominance through knowledge, good merit, being good people, not just being the loudest in the room, the most flashy. Or it's a really good thing. I give it up to the homies, like they really have crafted this culture by hand. And you could tell it's real love here. It's real
All
open
love,
here.
all love. Oh yeah, like I
Appreciate, bro.
said,
Appreciate. We try. Everybody tries. Everybody do the moving pieces. We
yeah.
one. As long as we're a well-oiled machine and the oil keeps getting added, you know what I mean, and the pieces keep on moving. That's
Everyone
what.
got their job, and if they do their job and it runs, it runs. You know, like
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. That's how the
Exactly.
foundations work in my mind. You know, if you do your job, I'll do mine, and we can get it
Yeah,
to work.
exactly.
definitely.
Hey,
How
But
should
long
we
you
get
been
into
working on
the
your social media?
oh my goodness, for about I want to say 4 years, but this account I actually got banned. My old Instagram account got banned out of nowhere. For something I didn't do, and when I tried to get it appealed, it just didn't let me, and I was like, I had 2,000 followers on that account, and
Wow.
then I
Jeez.
lost it. So I had to restart, and no one knew. I mean, I had the one I'm using now was my backup, and it was named my backup, but no one really looks into, the backups. They're just like, oh, she has another account there. Like, don't pay attention to it. But because I never posted on it because I never needed to. So, but like recently, I've definitely been trying to get like my name out on social media. Like, I've been trying to collaborate with other content creators and stuff like that. So, but yeah, social media wise, it's been about 4 years. Yeah, about. So
That's good. That's what it takes
yeah,
sometimes. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit, takes more work on that too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
You take a
definitely,
few
definitely,
steps back, take a few steps forward.
definitely understand that. On the got a couple. My one of my last questions here. We kind of wrap it up here.
Okay, 100%.
What
What's up?
what does it take? Essentially, a little bit more of the explanation of what it takes to become a Chicano. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like. I mean, obviously, we've already kind of talked about it a little bit more, but like
Mm-hmm.
to just wrap it up here, like what does it take if somebody wants to reach out to you and say, I want to become part of the MC group? You know, I seen you on the podcast. What is it that, like? What are some of the steps that people could take to do that? Obviously, reach out to the IG, but then after that, what is it? What else is it that
You
they would do?
know, talk essentially, like we have a French chat now. We didn't have that before, but we have a French chat now. And if I would always say hang around. You don't have to support the club necessarily, but if you wanted to hang around a little bit before you stuck your foot, and if you wanted to support too, that works too. But like hang around, talk, you know, let people know who you are and what you're about. Don't sit there and join the party after saying I want to join and be quiet, because that's what it takes. You gotta. People aren't gonna just recruit, anybody. I mean, people do that. People do recruit anybody, but for us personally, for Chicanos, I feel like you have to, have the not only do you have to have the maturity, but you have to have that like voice to be loud and to be noticeable. Quoting voided. Sorry. But you have to be loud and you don't have to necessarily be loud, but you have to talk. Talking like it gives us an understanding of where your head's at when you want to like join, but it also gives you know for me personally, it gives me a perspective of who you are. Like I said, I take first impressions very seriously. Like I've always been that type of person. That's why whenever I meet new people, I'm like, hi, I'm Violet, nice to meet you. How are you today? What's going on? And I'll call them like, I have this thing where I call like the guys, kings, and I call the girls queens. I'm like, hey queen, hey king, what's up, what are you doing? Like, it's just kind of who I've been doing that for a little bit. But it's like first impressions are really everything, and to be in Chicanos, like you have to have that voice, and you have to, if you don't know something, ask. Use your voice. Ask. We'll help you. We're never gonna turn away an opportunity to teach somebody how to, go in this route to be a Chicano. Like if you need the help, we're willing to help you. But if you want it though, like you said and we said earlier, like you have to have the drive and the ability and the want and that voice. The voice is key. Communication is key.
There
Always.
you go.
So, yeah.
There
For
you go. Y'all heard it, bro. If you're trying to get on the MC, the Chicanos, you could tap in with Violet here. You could tap in,
yes.
actually, that's the wrong. That's the correct. That's the wrong way. Say your name. How do we say your name again?
Violetrix.
The
Violetrix.
Electrics. There we go. I don't.
Yes.
I chopped it up right there.
No, it's
Tap
okay.
in with
Everyone calls me
her.
Violet, but
The
or
Electrics.
V.
The
But yeah.
tapping with her. You could tap in her on Instagram.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I mean. Chicanos MC.
Yeah.
Congratulations on becoming a newly fully patched member with
And
the
I
MC there.
appreciate y'all. 100%. I appreciate you guys. And like I said, it's hard enough for females in this community to get noticed without being called some, outlandish things. I'm not gonna say what, but those
Yeah.
those words, those common words that people use on females, like you guys, it's hard enough. And so, you guys reaching out to me is like, it was a big deal to me because now I can, voice that. Like, for all my females out there, you have just as much visibility as any of these guys. Any of these guys. As long as you want it, because before I even joined Chicanos, I told them, I'm like, I got an attitude problem. I got an attitude problem because I like to say what's on my mind because I know what's on my mind. If I'm thinking it and I want to say it, it means that I thought it through and I need to say it. So just know, like, and that's, I mean, it's not just for females, but for everybody out there, at the end of the day, your voice and your thought process and your knowledge, putting yourself out there, it's a big thing, and the confidence is a big thing, and I'm proud to anybody out there who has overstepped, that has overstepped that complication of not being able to do that. you know Always,
Hell yeah.
go for yourself. So sorry.
Definitely. No, no
Nah, nah,
worries.
you
Definitely.
good, you good. That's dope. You dropping
Yeah.
gems, man. That's what's most important. You feel me? We always
Yeah.
got ears for the gems. Trust.
And like I said, I appreciate you guys for having me. Like, this is awesome. This is amazing. Like, everything about this,
Nah, that's
the
good,
the
man.
potential
Thank you
and the
so much.
fire that you guys have is awesome. Like,
Thank you.
I watch every episode.
Oh
I'll
shit, hell
I'll
yeah.
be watching. I'll be looking
Hell
out.
yeah. Nah, for sure. Hey, so we getting to the back end of our conversation here. Just want to say thank you again for coming, being
Yeah, of
super
course.
entertaining, being super cool, man. I really think it's like our best conversation that we didn't have since we started this thing.
Yes.
So,
Let's
big ups to
go.
you.
Woo, woo.
You got any shout outs you want to do before we get up out of here?
Um, Shout out to Chicanos. Shout out to, I know Sinners watching, and shout out to Voided for helping me. If it wasn't for your great English lessons, I probably wouldn't have been able to keep so many conversations going. And
Gangster.
I love you.
Shout out.
And shout out to shout out to Chicanos and Hothead. You know,
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah. Nah,
Definitely.
And to
that's
everybody
wonderful,
who's
man.
watching, shout out to you guys. Cause
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
the
the
stream for
stream.
sure.
yes, shout out to the stream. And for everyone who
Oh
followed
yeah.
me, I got like 6 new followers. To everyone who just followed me from watching this, like, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys.
Hell yeah.
There you
Building that
go.
I'm finna
community,
put
that's
out
what it's
some
about.
fire stuff for you guys.
There you go.
God.
Yep.
Hey man, this your boy Phrase. This is the Real Talk Podcast. It's been real. Got my co-host here, Billet. Got my
We
good
out.
friend here, V Dog V Money from the
Yay!
Chicanos. We up
Chicanos.
out of here, man.
Yes.
Y'all have a good one.
Y'all
Hey,
have a
have a
good
good night.
one. Bye. Thank you for having me.